Hey, thanks for stopping into We Called It. Have a fantastic show for you today. All right, what did I do?
He started the show. I just want everybody here. This is Phil's intro. He's like, hey, you know what? We need an intro. We need to be exciting. We need to be believable. We need personal. He walks on here and goes, hello.
So it's actually
everyone, please comment.
I did not hit record. I was testing my audio first. So
okay.
People just saw you guys laughing. They didn't hear my hello badoop badoop. All right. Anyways, thanks for listening. Have a fantastic show for you today. I'm Philip Call, contributor at the Action Network, joined as always with Connor Lucas, former college receiver. How are you, Connor?
What's up, Phil? Maybe get a little bit more excited this time.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, football's over, so I'm allowed to be sad. And Dr. Kenneth Call joining us once again. How are you?
Guys, baloop to boop. Good to see you.
One day we'll get a soundboard and just start playing that the whole time. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, follow, tell us your thoughts or anything you want to hear. I actually heard Nate Schmidt, our listener of the year, telling people how wonderful we are. He grew our listening base by like 20%, aka added one person to it. So
thanks, Nate.
A shout out to my cousin Caleb, and another shout out to our other friend Roman. Both of those guys tuned in, listened last week. By the way, they really enjoyed the PBR take. Just wanted to let you know.
Oh, did they think I was cheap for Natty Light? Any feedback on that? I'm just wondering if like anyone that listens to the show is gonna be like he's a cheapskate.
They just totally agreed with me. Then said, yeah, PBR actually has somewhat of a taste to it for being cheap.
All right, that's fair. But however, Natty Light's cheaper.
It's like the
High Life train. You guys, get out of your circles. It's High Life.
Anyways, for all of his comments and telling people to join the show, I'm going to make Nate Schmidt a Listener of the Year button, similar to our We Believe in Joe Burrows. I have no idea what it will look like yet, but I feel like he's earned it. So thank you, Nate, for all you've done. And if you guys want a button like that, they come around once a year. You can be our top listener next year. All right. Just to let everyone know, we have been giving picks all year, so you deserve to know how we did this year. Connor and I were the only two to show up each and every week and give it our all. And on the year, I finished at 53% right, Connor at 51%. Now, as you know, this was a new show to start the year. So since week 4, we had a bad weeks 1 to 3, but since week 4, I'm up to 56%, and Connor finished at 54%. That is more than enough for you to actually take home some profitable bets, even with the expense that the books charge. So if you listen to us and take all of our picks 100% for sure, you would have turned out profitable.
Made money.
Exactly. And lastly, Ken, since he joined us 6-11, he was much better until he started disagreeing with me and Connor at the end of the tail end of the playoffs.
I'm just saying, regular season, I was above 65% at a great 66%.
Tell your bookie. Tell your bookie.
tell your bookie about all the money he took from you on the Super Bowl. No.
Oh, you mean he paid out? Thank you, Cooper Kupp.
That's right. You had your Cooper Kupp MVP. Speaking about things we got right, last week, Super Bowl, Connor and I, wearing it loud and proud. We believe in Joe Burrow to cover. The chance came true. Plus 4.5. Never a doubt in our minds. I was right. I had coin toss.
Joe Burrow is super pumped about that right now as we speak. He's really pumped about the cover.
Yeah,
it's not about him. It's my bank account. Oop, Connor awkwardly cut out.
Burrow. Oh, well, I think we ended the show last week. Like, our final thing was, I believe in Joe Burrow, and then we went, ... to cover.
Exactly. And we were right there. But most importantly, I think the bet that I was most impressed with last week is we got Blue Gatorade right. Just sitting around, no idea, looking at the colors and feeling like blue was the way to go. So, outside of, do you want to brag?
I was absolutely destroyed when I realized the whole reason, because we were talking about how bad orange is, and I realized teams just use their color for the picture and the photo and the dump at the end. So if the Rams were going to win, it was blue. If it was Bengals, it probably would have been orange. super let down. Turned out that's really how they do things. That being said, way to go. You guys knew the Rams were going to win. I got you.
Yeah, but we knew the Bengals were going to cover. Look at that. Just printing money left and right. Anyways, outside of all the things we did right, I'm sure there was a lot we did wrong, but of course you don't remember that. So, all I can say is we had a solid weekend, I think. Couple props.
First score under 23.5 number.
And unfortunately, I was wrong, and no field goals hit the upright. Anyways.
No octopus?
Not even
Should have had one that was missed extra point. Something like that.
Point.
Who blocked it? Nobody blocked it. It was missed.
The muff placement.
Oh, it was a muff placement. Anyways, outside of all that we did right and whatever we did wrong, sorry, I don't remember that. What'd you guys take away from the Super Bowl? Likes, dislikes, anything? Any information you got from it?
Yeah, I'll go first. Cut the entire offensive line for the Bengals. Start fresh. Take your first 6 picks. Draft 5 starting linemen and 1 backup. And then move forward.
And then go into free agency and sign the best 2 or 3 on top of that. Just whatever you can to keep Joe Burrow upright. Ridiculous how bad that was.
Being a Browns fan, love Myles Garrett, and you look at that pass rush win rate. I love that stat. And so just to give you an idea, Aaron Donald is by far the best interior lineman at it. Do you guys know what his pass rush win rate is on the year?
25%.
6.
It was 24%. The next highest was 20%. So huge gap there. The Rams for the Super Bowl were an 82% pass rush win rate. So every single lineman, most of the time, was beating their offensive lineman. Joe Burrow did not have a chance.
Yeah, that just tells you how incredible it was for him to even have half the stats that he did. I mean, exactly. And no picks.
Also, that makes a good point. Guys, T. Higgins, 75-yard touchdown should have been a negative 15-yard play. Sorry, that was the Bengals' only offense in the second half, and it shouldn't have even counted. So, T. Higgins had a great game. He did great. He did not do elite.
Bill, I'm gonna punch him. I'm just we're gonna it's not even.
That's completely okay.
What was Jamar?
That's what a lot of people do when they're wrong. I know.
Ken, what was Jamar Chase's stats? Tell me his stats.
Jamar Chase did very well.
Okay, but tell me what his stats were. I just want to know what his stats were. What was? Well, all right. So
5 catches, 70 yards, ballpark.
Okay, 5 for 89. Okay.
All right, that's close.
5 for 89. T had 4 for 100.
Cool.
Do you think that Jamar Chase is elite?
Okay. How about this? T. Higgins had 3 for 25 and a touchdown.
No. Because both ways, either way, Jamar Chase had 5 for 89. T. Higgins got matched up on Jalen Ramsey 50% of the time too. It wasn't split. He didn't travel. So they're both catching on Jalen Ramsey, and that's an elite corner. So are you going to say that, hey, no matter what it was, no catches counted, Jalen Ramsey sucks, he's not even good?
If Jamar Chase could rip Jalen Ramsey's head off at least once,
go back.
It would have been
and look at this.
5-yard
touchdown. Go back and look at this. Go back and watch it. Tell me even if he doesn't rip his head down, tell me he was not about to go moss the crap out of him.
More importantly,
over top of him.
He might have had a very nice 40-yard catch. Very nice. Don't get me wrong, and that's what good players do.
Ramsey was going to fall down. I'm telling you, he's doing one of these, right? That is a receiver's favorite jump ball. When you have a corner who's leaning, he's going to fall. He's going to fall no matter what. Yeah, sure.
All right. You're done. Both of you, time out. before we continue, Ken.
Guys.
So when Jalen Ramsey was tugging on T. Higgins' jersey for the touchdown on the first drive, that wasn't an elite play, right? Because he got his jersey tugged, so he didn't catch it. So we did the same thing to Jalen Ramsey and smoked him. Oh, that one doesn't count, but the first one should.
The same thing. Compare a 75-yard touchdown. So
it was a 20-yard touchdown where he burned him on a post, and Jalen Ramsey wrapped him up, pulled him back. Yeah,
that is a great defensive play. When you're burned, you pass interfere. That's
but is he elite? Is Jalen Ramsey elite? Is Jamar Chase or Jalen Ramsey elite? Yes or no?
All right. Jalen Ramsey is elite, but elite cornerbacks get burnt.
Okay,
sure. Yeah. And elite wide receivers get away with ticky-tack pass interference.
All right. I'm with Ken on it. That's a little bit more than ticky-tack. But also, we'll cover this when we get to we're doing top 5 quarterbacks today, or top quarterbacks to start a franchise with. We'll do top receivers to have, so we'll cover all that when we come back, because I'm sure Connor and I will have Higgins much higher. What I wanted to bring up about the offensive lines for the Bengals, which we can all agree on, Ken talks about how they got burned 80% of the time. PFF grades them. Now, PFF scores are 0 to 100. If you're below, 30, it's almost impossible. They scored a 14. That is so bad that it's before you can even get up, they're by you kind of stuff. It's atrocious. And also,
you guys watch that second half. That's what was happening. It wasn't even a pocket collapsing. It was just people going straight to Burrow, man.
There,
bull rush.
The sack.
Bull rush.
No. The very last play of the game where Burrow, or not last play of the game, but where Burrow gets taken down when he tries to flick it out to Pirine. By the time the left guard standing up, I think it's Quentin Spain or George Spain or something. Jermaine Spain? I don't know.
Yeah.
Spain. Aaron Donald has him one-armed and is in the backfield. That was
so embarrassing.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing to watch. I remember just all snapped, and it was late in the second half. It might have been in the fourth, where Spain ended up in his lap. Donald didn't even have to do anything except for straight bull rush. And, if you get planted, as a 350-pound lineman, you can plant your foot and at least stop it for a second. When you say on skates, I don't know if skates could go that fast. Truthfully, he took 2 steps backwards, Donald took 2 steps forwards and he couldn't even get into his throw. Burrow couldn't even step in because he went like this and pulled it back because he literally had Aaron Donald in his grill. How embarrassing is that? I'm telling you, cut all of them. All of them.
Other people the Bengals should cut after the Super Bowl. Eli Apple gave up 2 touchdowns to Cooper Kupp. The first one didn't even cover him. The second one, he was technically there, but Cooper Kupp roasted him.
Guys, what were you expecting? First off, on the outside, 1-on-1 for the game against Cooper Kupp. Who are you putting out there? It didn't matter. Eli Apple's getting a lot of blame. A lot of cornerbacks get burned in that situation.
You know who doesn't get burned? Their middle linebacker who got that BS holding call.
Okay. All right. Now, Ken, I'll be interested to see your take on this one. Because that was 3rd and 8, right? So they're going to end up at 4th and 8, game on the line. And you're telling me that there's no poetic justice in that from the ticky-tack face mask pool.
Okay, so my only thing is, at some point they had to give the Rams a makeup call for giving them a 75-yard touchdown. And they're like, well, you can't be mad at this one if you're not mad at the other one. And I was like, time-wise, way worse. You also didn't give them 6 points. So, it's close. But also, the Bengals really needed that 75-yard gimme touchdown because their offense literally did not move the ball the rest of the game.
All right. I attribute some of that to Zach Taylor and the play calling.
Oh, you can attribute it to literally everyone but Joe Burrow. That's fine. I don't care who you attribute it to, but the truth was that their offense was non-existent. Like that 75 yards has to be. I asked Phil I wanted to get their second half yardage.
It's like 150. It's pretty much 75 from Higgins and then 75 rest of the game.
I did see someone say though, not only do the Bengals need an offensive line, they need a play caller. Zach Taylor, I think calls the plays, and it's like an Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid situation. He needs to let that go. It's not just O-line, but people that are smarter than us are saying it. It's out in the ether. It isn't just us. I think people have to know, yeah, hey, by the way, Joe Mixon's like really good. Samaje Perine is better. That is how Zach Taylor thinks.
Yeah.
So he was like 3rd and 1. First of all, he should have run the ball there anyways. He just shouldn't have. Why? Because guess what? If you don't get quick one, Joe Burrow can either draw or he can scramble, throw it in the dirt, stop the clock. You don't waste another timeout like you ended up having to do. I texted you, Phil, immediately when it happened and said, well, he just lost them the game. Yep. And I was just like, this is terrible. So, Zach Taylor, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know if this is a pretty early tell here. This could be another, is it Tom Brady or is it Bill Belichick? Because guess what? If Joe Burrow keeps saving Zach Taylor, and he keeps riding off of it, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Joe Burrow who is saving Zach Taylor, because Joe Burrow did all that in spite of his offensive line and Zach Taylor. Belichick didn't care about offense. He played defense, or he coached the defense.
I mentioned it last week. Like, Super Bowl is lit. It's never been more on the line than your last drive in the fourth quarter. You know what? I get Perine's been your 3rd down back all year. Good job. Sit on the pine. At least have Joe Mixon in there. I agree it shouldn't have been a run, period. But at the same time, if you're going to, give it to the all-pro running back. I'm not saying he gets it, but I'm saying he certainly has a way better chance of breaking that Aaron Donald arm tackle than Samaje Perine.
Yeah.
I'm glad we agree. The play call was terrible. The personnel grouping was terrible. Get rid of Zach Taylor. I've been saying it all year.
And maybe he can coach something else. Or he can be just the, Pete Carroll kind of, master of ceremony. Maybe. He might be. Seems like people like him.
Have you guys seen the picture of Jalen Ramsey falling down on that 4th down play?
Yes. I have seen that.
Oh, look, he's open. I'm sorry. The dude didn't have time to get a 10-yard pass out. That he is 25 yards downfield. All you're doing is taking Jalen Ramsey out of the play. Now, I'm just saying that probably a dumb play call. But at the same time, don't give it Jamar Chase had him beat. He should have thrown it to Jamar Chase. I'm sorry. The play was long dead by that time.
Yeah.
I saw people.
I was going to say, it's 4th and 1. And they're not going to, the D-line's been getting through the offensive line. So with the way Ramsey plays, Connor brought it up last week. He either gives up a big play or he doesn't give up much. He gave up 2 big plays. And I think he was probably just all right, I'm going to sit here and try to, play a cut or something. And if Chase goes by me, it doesn't matter. They're not getting it to him. So I think that's more of knowing the situation way more.
Well, somebody blasted Joe Burrow on social media on the 3rd and 1 play. Probably just somebody from the nosebleeds, from the peanut gallery. Took a screenshot of the handoff and showing how far off Jalen Ramsey was. He was 12 yards off, playing deep on the 3rd and 1, and people were like, Joe Burrow should have audibled here and just took the hitch and gotten it. And I'm like, well, here's the other thing too. I bet Joe Burrow has enough control of the offense to audible out. But I also bet Zach Taylor was probably going to be we should run this play and don't ask me about it and don't audible it and don't change it. I don't know if I would have had the stones to audible out of a play call that my head coach just asked me to do at that point. I thought that was a stupid take.
If it's 4th and 1, I think it's different. But since it was 3rd and 1, I agree with you, where it's okay, we're doing this and we're just trying to get it. If we don't, we still have another play.
Yeah, exactly.
Zach Taylor, I mean, if he starts audibling out of it, probably just calls a timeout at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Is that all you guys got for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, T. Higgins is elite. I want to hear Ken's dirty mouth say it.
So the Rams had no offense. Super surprise. Like, total props to the Cincinnati run defense. Like, they not only did they show up, they almost won a Super Bowl by themselves. But at the end of the game, it's Cooper Kupp hasn't been in it much at all. You knew he was getting 8 straight targets because, like I was saying last week, you do not lose a game without using your superstar. If you're going to lose with Cooper Kupp, getting covered and a holding call not called on third down, then you lose like that. You got to use your superstars and not send Jamar Chase deep on 4th and 1.
Speaking about using your superstars, Matthew Stafford. Huh?
No. I want Ken to tell us, define superstar on the Bengals. Ready, go.
Best player.
All right, cool. So name the best players on the Bengals.
Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. You get
3. And
well, what's our kicker's name? That dude's a stud.
Oh, don't say McPherson. All right, whatever. I don't even care. Whatever. You heard it here, folks.
Just let him go. Folks. Let him go. Next year, I'm going to get a text.
And believes T. Higgins is elite. Boom.
Next year, I'm going to get a text, or September, or August. I'm going to get a text from Ken, who to pick in fantasy football. I'm going to be like, T. Higgins. And he's going to be like, no. And then T. Higgins is going to be awesome.
By the way, next year for fantasy, I absolutely love T. Higgins, and I love Cam Akers. Cam Akers next year.
By the way, if OBJ doesn't tear his ACL, this game isn't close at all. He was completely ripping up. He was in for like one drive, and he had 2 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. It wasn't even fair.
I was watching it with my friend, and I'm like, oh, God, are we going to have to see freaking Odell win Super Bowl MVP? In Cleveland would have died. The whole city would have shut down.
And they've been upset.
The Factory of Sadness t-shirts would have come back out. All right, so let's get to our top 10, or it's not even top 10, just top quarterbacks to start a franchise with. So essentially we looked. The funny thing is I didn't specify what this exactly meant. So it's wide open, which is, I think, good because it gives a wide range of outcomes for us to say older and younger guys. In my opinion, I guess when I looked at this, I thought like I was first pick in like a Madden draft or fantasy draft. So I'm curious to see how you guys went about it. But I think we can all start with probably the 3 that are consistently among our tops. And that's going to be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. I have them 1, 2, 4. It looks like you guys, Connor has them 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, Connor has them 2, 3, 4. And Ken has them. Oh, you have Herbert low. Never mind. 1, 4, and 6 or something? All right. So, Connor, why don't you start off with your take on these guys?
Who do you think is going to be my number 1? Listen, we just talked about it for like 20 minutes. The fact that Joe Burrow shouldn't have even been there and carried an entire city and franchise. And here we are. I don't even know why we even asked it. Would you guys I don't know, maybe think that he's pretty good or the number 1?
I have a good idea. I'm going to share my screen so people can actually see the listings that we currently have.
Now, I understand this is the reason why we do this. This is a debate. I get it. But I just think there's no way that somebody who, the stat is just bonkers that he was 70 times. He was sacked 70 times this year. 7-0. And it's not even close that somebody like that was even in or even should have been in the playoffs, much less in the Super Bowl. So I think if you can do that and be as efficient as he was and be 24, I gotta believe that means you're. So the way I look at it, if you think about it, yes, he has elite weapons. Okay, I get that. Yeah, Ken, elite. I said it again. Anyways, you have elite weapons. Okay, so you could say, all right, well, maybe he's being carried by his weapons. Then you say, oh, well, generally the best teams have an offensive line. He doesn't. And it's not even close. It's like bottom 2. And it might not even be number 2. So, that just talks about his speed of decision making for me more than anything. And that's why I think Herbert is next up, because Herbert had an okay offensive line, but he had the opposite situation. You could argue that even last year, Mike Williams wasn't very good and he was hurt. He was an elite rookie. He won Rookie of the Year. Then he doubled up and basically resurrected Mike Williams' career this year. Is going to get Mike Williams paid one way or the other. And he did that with an okay offensive line. So my point is those top 2 can by themselves decision make their way into carrying a team. Josh Allen is right there. Mahomes, you're talking about 2 of the greatest of all time type of weapons that are unbelievable with the best coach, one of the best offensive minds in the last 20 years. So we're splitting hairs here, but that's why Mahomes is 4, because I don't know how much of it is. You don't have that excuse to say, okay, he's being carried. Or Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert have less, and Josh Allen have less of an excuse to say, okay, they're being carried by their weapons. Mahomes has not 2, but a third in his coach. So that's my take.
So Connor, is it safe to say, I just added in a bar like underneath our top 4. Is it safe to say that those are your 4 top, and you're going to say it's inches, not miles between them, but then there's a drop off to Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. I think, yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
Lamar is just totally dynamic and a Vic type player. So
yeah, we have the same top 4, obviously a different order. I think the Patrick Mahomes Josh Allen game, where you saw them score instantly or back and forth, shed tackles, run the ball, I think it just was way more impressive to me. Not that Joe Burrow hasn't been impressive, but just seeing them go back and forth in kind of that dream QB shootout. And while I think Burrow is fantastic, you're giving him more credit for a bad situation, which he definitely has, probably the worst situation. I think I'll hold it against him for now until I can see him better with a better offensive line. But that's just me. I agree. These are the top 4, and however you want to order them, I'm not going to argue. But let's look over at Ken.
Yeah, what are you doing, Ken? Age has to come into it.
I just wanted to take a little different look at it. I think football is a game of what are you doing now. For example, how old's Joe Burrow?
24.
He's 25. Mahomes is only 26. Has nothing to do with Joe Burrow's age. All about Mahomes. I just think he's shown he's got the arm talent. He can run when he needs to. I don't know, just the poise. I think his arm's more talented than anybody that we've seen in years. So I think he's just when you actually say generational, I mean a generational talent. And I'm not going to pass that up.
Hey, Ken, were you going to be? Do you think you'd be saying this like week 7 or week 8 when he sucked?
Oh, trust me, I've been on the Mahomes train for a very long time. Did not matter. No. And there's a difference between trying to do too much out there and not being able to. And he certainly was the former.
All right. So Ken, just real quick, break this down. Aaron Rodgers is your number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
He's 39.
That's right.
He's the reigning 2-time MVP. He's threatened to retire. He's threatened to leave the team. And that's the guy that you're like, sign me up.
Number 2, baby.
That's because, okay, take his first, he went 13-3. He didn't play his first week or his last week. No argument there. Or no, they were 13-4, yeah. He did not play the first week, didn't want to. Didn't play the last week, didn't have to. I'm not, I don't know, right now everyone is overreacting to how people do in playoffs, and I actually did it later on my list. But the whole point is Aaron Rodgers goes out there and I gotta tell you, the Green Bay team that roster, if you take Aaron Rodgers off of it, is not phenomenal. I'm not a huge fan of their defense, and Devontae Adams is great, and I think that's really all they got. They got two good, not great running backs too. But he goes out there, he changes the entire team. He's the only player in the NFL where I don't think you need another person on your team, and you're already considered a playoff team.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's done that.
Aaron Rodgers, the guy with the best receiver in the NFL and won't throw the ball to anybody else. You think he doesn't need anyone on his team?
He only needs one.
And listen though, and we're talking about starting a franchise
in week 10.
No,
you guys are agreeing with me. My whole point though is the NFL. A lot can change in 2 or 3 years. It all depends on your team. I'm not looking for the 10-year frame. I want to see the next 3 years. And I think 3 years with Aaron Rodgers gives me a better chance to win a Super Bowl than anybody else on this list except Mahomes. That's why he's my number 2.
So guys, I just want to let you all know Ken has chronic heart disease. He's going to die in 3 years, and that's why he's very biased.
Franchise would mean like longevity.
You get 10 plus years out of all the guys Connor and I have.
Every one of them.
All right. So Ken, Connor and I have our group of 4 as our top elite group. How would you break your top QB tier 1 down? Where it was like, okay, these guys are closer to interchangeable than they are from the next group.
Probably, right down to between Allen and Lamar. Somewhere in there.
All right, so we're going to count Lamar for
We'll do after Lamar. So my only thing with Herbert, I actually love Herbert. I think he has tons of arm talent. I think he looks good. He hasn't had a defense, but also he just hasn't made it to the playoffs. I'm very biased towards the regular season. I really want to see how they do. And he hasn't made the playoffs yet. I'm not going to give him tons of credit till he does. He's great. If they made the playoffs and even won a game or two, he would easily be right behind Burrow, but he's not right now.
Okay. So wait, that was your take on Lamar?
On Herbert.
On Herbert? I think my thing with Herbert is he was sent off to the NFL wasteland that's the Los Angeles Chargers. And I think his high side when he's hitting his plays is right up there with Mahomes and Allen. But I think his low side can get bad. And we are going to talk about this one day. I know we keep teasing it. We're going to talk about Brandon Staley and the way they use analytics. Because last week or 2 weeks ago when I was talking about commentators, we said there's extremes. There's Colin Cowherd, who changes his favorite 4 Super Bowl teams every week. And there's Nick Wright, who has pick integrity. And the Chargers are on the analytic integrity. They say, we believe in this, and this is what we're going to do, and we're always going to do it. 1, I think it makes for great football because it's a lot of fun to watch, and it gets people heated. 2, there's a middle ground. they don't know where it is. So I think while if they get a better situation and more understanding, and I like Brandon Staley, but if they get a better system around him, I'll be much happier. All right, let's go on to our next grouping, I guess. Connor and I, once again, looking exactly the same in our top 7. We have Trevor Lawrence, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson as our next 3. We have them in different orders, but that's fine. Connor, are you saying that is your next group of 3 that you would have, kind of with that drawing a line again? Or would you say there's a bigger drop-off somewhere?
This is all just a mixed bag to me. After, like, Lamar is kind of his own. Lamar and Russell Wilson, probably those 2.
Okay.
Then Lawrence, Stafford, Prescott, Murray is kind of a mixed bag. I would say it'd be those 2, and then it would be probably Lawrence, Stafford, Prescott, and then Murray, Carr, Lance, Fields.
Lance, Stafford, Prescott, Murray, Carr. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's kind of a whole mixed bag.
Can someone else color these as I do this? I lose the video feed. You can tell we have very high-tech software here. I'm working on it. I have someone coming to do all this. But yeah, so I'll have Lawrence, Wilson, Jackson, and then Murray, Rodgers is my next group. But speaking to Lawrence, Wilson, and Jackson, one, I love Trevor Lawrence. Probably, obviously, the most in this group. I think Urban Meyer was that bad. And there were plays where I saw Trevor Lawrence throw the ball, and I'm like, dang, that's a beauty 40-yard interception. So I just think there's a reason he was the most hyped player coming out since Andrew Luck. I think he's going to be really good. They just have everything to cure in Jacksonville. And then Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson, I think are kind of, I don't want to say they're one-trick ponies, but they have yet to prove that they can consistently win other ways. Russell Wilson has to play through the deep ball with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. That could be situation over his talent, but he shows no willingness to throw over the middle of the field, and I think that's a problem. And then Lamar Jackson, I think to end the year, he only had like one game or less of one or more passing touchdowns. Or, sorry, two or more passing touchdowns. So until he can consistently, hit, lots of, hit the long extended drive, 8 plays, 60 yards, 4 minutes through the air, not just on the ground. I think that will hold Jackson back from being in that top tier. Even in his MVP season, I think we saw some of that.
All right, so, and I'm highlighting. Please give me your hot take on where Stafford lands.
I'm sorry. He's had 1 year not with the Lions, and he won the Super Bowl, guys. This isn't a hot take. This is a take.
Oh, so man, you're
not putting him in your top. What? I don't even know where he's at. Like 7 or 8. So with this one, it would be Herbert, Stafford, Dak, and Russ. And I'm sorry, their team is good around him, and he did well. That's all I'm asking out of quarterbacks. I'm sorry. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He went to the playoffs. He won a Super Bowl. He just won. I'm totally fine with that. He tried to he lost games on the way, but he didn't lose them in the playoffs. Good enough.
By the way,
I'm frozen.
Oh, that's awkward. Anyways, I'm just gonna come at your Stafford take real quick. He'll leave and come back probably.
He just won the Super Bowl, guys. Let me overreact. It's fine.
Jared Goff got to a Super Bowl with the exact same team and came 1 or 2 plays away from winning. The only different, Stafford's no-look pass in the fourth quarter, I'll give it to you, phenomenal, absolutely insane. That is just like the one play they needed that Jared Goff couldn't provide. 7 out of 10 of those are picks, man.
Huh? 7 out of 10 of those are picks to that linebacker he's looking off. But either way, I'm not going to take anything away from him. He didn't lose you games, and he won around a team that was going to win. Totally fine with it.
Okay, so I got to think. Joe Flacco, the year after he won the Super Bowl, were you like top 8 quarterback?
No, he didn't even have a good regular year, though. He was just all playoffs, man. I'm trying to combine regular season and how you did in this playoff. Pretty simple. I have Herbert above him. Herbert hasn't even made a playoff yet, man.
All right, let's do. There's wins are not a quarterback stat. Quarterbacks are the most responsible for a win, but there's a reason none of us have Jimmy Garoppolo in our top 13, despite his record being like 40-20 as a starter.
Oh, trust me, he almost did.
Oh man! All right, looks like Connor's having some technical difficulties. But man, you're gonna have to just tell him.
I know. I'm really happy he's not around for this one.
I was gonna say you're just gonna have to tell him QB wins matter. So that
I'm just saying. So you guys have Trevor Lawrence super high. I get it. Huge, tons of stuff coming out of college. But I mean, where'd you have David Carr, and where did you have Tim Couch when they came out, man?
Not the same level. This is Andrew Luck. All right, I want to be clear. Andrew Luck got Peyton Manning moved while in MVP form. That's how good of prospect he was.
Okay, coming off of a neck injury where he couldn't feel his hand, but that is a big part, but that's okay. But so who else was RG3 was supposed to be just
No. There's a difference. Andrew, what is it? This is like Trevor Lawrence is in that group of 5 of greatest NFL players coming into the NFL. That's how good he was evaluated. He's a different level. If he would have come out his freshman year, or going into his freshman year, the Browns would have picked him over Baker.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my only point is I need to see you win before I start saying you're a top 10 franchise quarterback. That's it. I'll wait a year. I'm totally fine being late.
So, Connor, I just want to let you know, Ken's summary for Matt Stafford was he just won a Super Bowl and his team's really good. That's pretty much what his argument boiled down to.
Let me overreact this week.
Well, here's the deal. Like, I also feel like I'm almost torn on that one because I wasn't ever like a Matt Stafford hater. I definitely wasn't one where I was like, totally in my top 5, maybe top 7. He might have been in like 7 to 10 range for me. He's an arm talent, really good arm talent, sneaky athletic, but he could never win the big game. Or in fact, he couldn't win very many games. So I was never like sold on him. So this to me is kind of like a unicorn year. I have a feeling he may go back down, or maybe it really was because of the problem. I don't know.
You have him at 8, right outside.
Yeah.
Would you say that changed this year at all, or would you say last year coming in he'd probably be in that same area?
Yeah, I'm being serious, man. I didn't do a whole lot for me because,
but like 8's still really good.
Yeah, he's just like a really good guy. He's like how Ken thinks about T. Higgins. Let's put it that way.
All right. So
that is extremely accurate. Yeah. That was perfect.
So yeah. I have him at 12. Really I have Stafford at 12, and nothing changed for me this year. He's exactly who I thought he was. He's very talented, but he makes way too many mistakes for me. I think he's in that. He's in the best group of Derek. He's the best of the group of Derek Carr, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, all guys you should pay, but you're not overly enthused about it. And he can win a Super Bowl because they are talented enough, but they need lots of help.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way about Stafford because he got the help, and then he did what he did. I don't know. I'm just lukewarm. I'm lukewarm. So I'm more excited about him than Mr. Ken over there is about T. Higgins, but still.
All right, let's go on to our next one. It looks like Kyler Murray's kind of this guy floating around in these weird spots for us. I have him the highest at 8, Connor 10, Ken 12. Now, Kyler Murray, the first 8 weeks of a season, is an MVP every time, apparently. Always looks phenomenal. But then, for whatever reason, second half, he just completely burns out. I guess my hope is that we believe Cliff Kingsbury is not a good coach. And with a good coach, they'll evolve their offense throughout the year and adapt and put new tricks into it. And I think right now that's what's holding Murray back. So he's still he's going into his 4th year. Ken, I told you to buy his cards. I still believe in him to be in that MVP discussion, mostly because if you look at the NFC, there's really no good quarterbacks around outside. Like, there's Rodgers, and then Kyler has as much talent as anyone else, with Stafford, I think, being the second most talented. So I like Kyler a lot. Right now, I would say he's my favorite, and that's in this list, I have it that way. He is my favorite quarterback in the NFC.
He dropped on my my long-term outlook on him just this past week when he threw all of Arizona's stuff off and all the rumors coming out are he feels like a scapegoat. He feels like he's getting blamed for that loss, which you're the quarterback of the franchise. This is kind of going back to my whole, hey, quarterbacks win, quarterbacks, when your team loses, you got to admit when you sucked. And oh my God, did Kyler suck against the Rams in the playoffs this year? So I guess he's looking real immature right now. That's not the poise I want for my franchise quarterback. So on my list, this Derek Carr was kind of like the everyone above there really like Derek Carr is that baseline of I think you're a good quarterback. I think you pay him. If you never win a Super Bowl, if you're never even like win your division, that could be his limit. I'm not sure. And Kyler's under him. If we were talking about this at the end of the year, for me, Kyler's probably a few spots up, probably right around Dak. But no, he's not there right now.
All right, we're gonna hold because you currently have Mac Jones ahead of him, and I can't wait to yell at you about Mac Jones. Connor, what's your take on Kyler?
Yeah, I was actually a lot higher on him. He'd probably be about where Matt Stafford was up until probably last week. All these, like, my buddy of mine from high school is from Texas, so he's known about Kyler Murray since he was in high school. The whole never lost in Texas, blah, 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 high school history, never lost in high school, all that stuff. His dad's a crazy maniac, I guess, pushed himself, out of Texas A&M all the way to Oklahoma and bullied his way out of both of those and left them in crappy situations. And part of this is he is, taking phone calls at halftime from his girlfriend. I saw that report today. Or either before games or after games or preparation or something like that. Like, this dude is not built for being the face of a franchise, in my opinion. And at any time, this dude could just say, I was drafted in the first round of baseball. I'm going to go play baseball. So I don't think he really cares all that much. I think he cares more about getting paid and being in the NFL. So that's my take on Kyler.
Yeah, I don't. Just the only point with that is, he has legs. He's a playmaker. He can do it with his arm. He does have arm talent. He has tools. I hope that the rest of the game catches up to him.
All right, so now we're gonna go back to Ken and Mac Jones. Now Connor and I have been on this whole Mac Jones is garbage because Mac Jones is garbage thing, and as you watch him play. Yes, your QB wins, Ken. He wins because he had a phenomenal defense and a fantastic run game. But even in the second half of the year, he was throwing for less than 200 yards a game. Why do you have him number 10?
Because rookies all the time lose you games. Rookie quarterbacks lose you games, and he did not. Okay? As soon as he's done nothing that you don't want yet. Okay. And I think that that's just as important as, being able to make plays. And I think that comes eventually, but I really hate the comparisons to Tom Brady. I get it. Oh yeah. Patriots that, didn't quite do everything with the arm, but doesn't lose you games. He can do that first year, made it to the playoffs. He, in a tough division with the Bills, still made
tough
it.
Division. He got 2 free wins with the Jets, and then if he splits with the Dolphins, he's automatically 500 in division.
Yes, and the Dolphins went on a 7-game win streak during the year. They're not a bad team. It's more the Bills. Okay, all right. He played the Bills twice. I'm not counting their win for anything whatsoever. He threw for I think 2 yards, something like that. But my whole point is he's a rookie and he won games. I want to see more. I also didn't have a rookie on the list, and going with the one rookie that made the Pro Bowl, I was like, I know Pro Bowl's trash, I know, but I don't know. It was just a pick. Also, I've heard you guys just absolutely hate him all year. I was curious what you guys would say.
I thought that might be it. I feel like
Ken came in today. Ken came in today. He's like, I'm gonna say all these things just to get Phil and Connor pissed off.
Yeah, and then Evan said something to me one time. I think it was the beginning. He was like, "Would you rather be?" So I was betting all these games at the beginning of the year, and he was like, "Is it value over volume?" And I was like, "Yeah." So sometimes I just wonder if Ken's like volume of hot takes over value of his takes. T. Higgins being one of them.
Yeah. All right. So
Mac Jones sucks.
we're gonna delete the rest of what Ken said real quick, and then talk about me and Connor's rookie quarterbacks that we had on our list. So I have them 10 and 11. Trey Lance, Justin Fields. Connor has them 12, 13. Have them in the same order: Lance over Fields. How do you not take these guys over Mac Jones? Trey Lance.
You're talking about Mac Jones not being able to throw. I mean, Justin Fields, if you go look at Darnell Mooney's stats, the only time he ever did good was when Andy Dalton was throwing him the ball this year. Justin Fields has shown no arm talent in the NFL.
No arm talent. Did you see the Steelers game?
One game.
That one game was better than anything Mac Jones put together this year.
Andy Dalton threw the ball better than Justin Fields.
A former Pro Bowler. Crazy. A former Pro Bowler with years of experience threw the ball better than some rookie who everyone said.
Okay, he has tons of potential. He can run. He can be dynamic. Didn't show enough. He didn't win games, and his throwing stats were way worse than Mac Jones. I don't have him in front of me because I don't look at them because they're trash. I'm sorry. A lot of that can be due to the Bears and just the Bears being a trash team right now. But being on a team that can win is also, really helps with the quarterback. Also, look at Tim Couch. Look at David Carr. These high picks, they blow it all the time, not based on them, based on their teams. I'm sorry, Justin Fields hasn't shown me anything to be on this list yet.
Okay, so if you take a quarterback and you're like, he can win with a good team, and then you pay him a lot of money, like something happens, like with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, and you're stuck in these huge contracts, and you have to trade them away, and you're stuck in cap penalties, and it just kind of screws you over. The Rams had to give away an additional first-round pick with Jared Goff to get Matt Stafford back. And the Rams still paid $20 million of his contract this year.
Which point?
I'm surprised nobody even has Goff on this list. I guess I'm not surprised.
Mac Jones is what the best case. You're looking at like a Kirk Cousins, and that's making you happy. With Trey Lance and Justin Fields, best case, I got Justin Herbert.
I'm also doing the whole 3-year outlook. I think football changes too much to look 10 years down the road. And I just think all of these quarterbacks on my list are
Who's
more
the
ready
number
to win
one
than-
bet quarterback to win MVP next year?
By the way, freaking love Trey Lance next year.
Yeah, Trey Lance is currently, but his odds are so bad. He's getting bet as a backup, and everyone knows he's going to be starting for San Fran.
But the whole Trey Lance thing, it's for him, it's because they have an amazing run game. They have the best offensive lineman in the league. They have an amazing defense. They have dynamic weapons on their team. They have everything laid out. If he would have started this year, he probably would be exactly where Mac Jones is for me. But he didn't.
So my thing with Trey Lance.
And when Trey Lance did play, he didn't look any better than Jimmy G.
All right, so my thing with Trey Lance is everyone knew that he had played one college football game in his career. So I give him a big break there, and essentially this was like a polishing year for Kyle Shanahan to be like, hey, this is how offenses work. I can't wait for next year, because even when he played, the upside of what he showed was fantastic. Starting in the preseason when he was 1 for 5, but his one completed pass was a 75-yard touchdown, and it was a cross-field 50-air yard pass. Absolutely phenomenal. He has so much arm strength and talent, and I have a feeling it'll be Josh Allen-esque with him, where it could be a year or two of ugly throws, overthrowing, missing targets, but lots of running to compensate. But once he gets up to speed, I think Trey Lance will be absolutely phenomenal.
So that's where I'm this is to me where I'm going, Ken, did you miss the assignment here? The purpose of the assignment was start a franchise. You put Aaron Rodgers at 2. I'm
No. I was not start any franchise. It's who would you want as your quarterback if you had to pick now? That's what I heard.
Okay, well, all right. So what team are you?
What team am I?
Because right now I don't have a team, and I'm picking my quarterback, and I'm building a team around him.
I'm the Chiefs.
All right, I'll take Rodgers. You win.
Done.
My whole point is football changes all the time. The Browns last year, at this point, we were literally like Super Bowl contenders. This time, we're like, we might be the last place team in our division. Things change a lot in 1 year. Let me think 3 years. You got to be short-term minded. Guess what? The Rams, they just traded all their draft picks, and you know what? They got a Super Bowl. I don't think they're regretting anything. Did you see the one shirt? Who is it? The guy wore
the GM.
The GM. Yeah, what was it? Like F those draft picks or something like that? Dude, yeah. I love it.
All right. One Super Bowl in 20 years or 5 Super Bowls in, I don't know, 15. 3 Super Bowls. Let's say.
I hate the comparison, but do you see the whole Dan Marino effect when people start talking about Joe Burrow? Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing says that any of these guys are going to win 5 Super Bowls. I don't see Tom Brady on any of these lists, but guess what? If he hadn't retired, you best believe he would have been number 3 on my list.
One of these guys is going to be Tom Brady light. He's not going to win 7, but he's going to win 4.
I disagree. And the only reason I disagree is because my top 7 quarterbacks are all in the AFC. Like, the problem with the quarterback situation right now is it's going to be fantastic for viewers. Divisional round, you're going to get Mahomes versus, like, Lamar Jackson. And then conference championship, you're going to get Mahomes and Allen or something. And every year it's going to be great. And every year we're going to be like, man, that Bills versus Chiefs game, that was the real Super Bowl. Bengals versus Rams is kind of like a consolation prize that we get to watch because no other football's on.
So just with my list, all you have to do is look at and say, winning in college is a lot different than winning in the NFL. Let me see it first before I start calling you a franchise quarterback. End of story. There aren't even any good quarterback or college quarterbacks this year that we could even bring up and remotely bring up on the list. But
all right. So talking about QB wins, you're a Browns fan, so Baker Mayfield's a guy.
Oh no.
His first year he had a good winning record. His second year he didn't.
We thought he could win Rookie of the Year. Okay, keep going.
His second year, he didn't have a good year. His third year, he had like the great, phenomenal finishing half, made the playoffs, won a game. And fourth year, he was absolutely terrible.
Okay,
where are you with Baker Mayfield?
Pretty easy. Good year, bad year, good year, bad year does not mean you're an average quarterback. Sorry.
All right, so ballpark, can you tell me where he would be? I know there's Kirk Cousins. There's a lot of guys that you probably might have above him, but like in the same range. Would you put him in your next group? You have 12 listed. Would he be in that like 13 to 16, 17 range?
Absolutely not. Not even close.
Wow. And you're over here talking about QB wins.
I'd like consistency in my QB wins as well.
He consistently threw interceptions.
Guys, let's not talk about Baker Mayfield right now. We're talking about franchise quarterbacks of the future. Come on.
All right, so.
You said Aaron Rodgers.
And the next few years look great. Ask the Packers, what would you trade Aaron Rodgers for Baker Mayfield? Are you kidding?
I just want to know, like, I'm gonna hold my thoughts until Aaron Rodgers retires in 2 months. right before the draft.
FYI for viewers, we are not talking. I don't want to talk about perspective like, ooh, I think this guy's going to go here with free agency. That's why we haven't talked about Aaron Rodgers at all and all the coaching moves yet. I want to wait for the rosters to settle a little bit more. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers could be for Denver, could be just holding out till they're like, oh, you're not going to trade me. I'm going to hold my breath and retire then. Also, I do love that everyone here decided that Jordan Love, despite having 2 years to actually sit and learn the position, isn't worth being on this list.
No, I actually saw an article saying that the Packers are interested in Nick Mullins as a backup. And I immediately thought, wow, can't believe he's going to start over Jordan Love.
All right. So I'm good with as much as we've talked about this list. I think the only guy we haven't gone in depth on is that I'd be interested in is Dak Prescott. I think he's been looked over a little bit. So he famous for the do you pay him, don't you pay him because of the team around him. And I know Connor talked about Skip Bayless 2 weeks ago. Skip Bayless has openly been a little bit against Dak Prescott for his poor playoff performance this past year. So, where are you guys?
Man. He goes back and forth on him.
He loved, like, dude, it was like Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield. Those are his two love children for a while. But he sounded out on him like, hey, Dak, clearly you're not good enough against the goodest teams. Yeah, I said goodest.
Yeah.
So, it's not even the best teams. It's like a team below those. That's why it's goodest, not best. I have him at 14. You guys have him much higher, still in like that 8, 9, 10, in that 8, 9 range, right next to Stafford.
I just think
you go first, yeah.
I just think he's young enough to where I think he could be the Matt Stafford, where he can't win the big one, either change of scenery, or I think he does it actually in Dallas because they're willing to go out and do stuff rather than Detroit. And it'll take him longer, but I still think Dak has the tangibles and intangibles. I think he's got enough to do it in Dallas. So if I'm looking at him versus the bottom portion of that, he's got the most out of Kyler Murray, who knows, head case, Trey Lance, waste bag, Derek Carr in his low 30s now, 30, 31, 32. Yeah. From there, I think that sits about right.
10.
So when I was doing it, I was thinking, in the next 3 years, how surprised would I be if one of these guys win an MVP? And I just think that Dak, he's shown enough where he has arm talent. He can run it. Now, he was coming off that awful ankle injury. And towards the end of the year, he did run the ball a little bit more. But I think he makes plays like decently. I mean, if he can put it together, if he can win some of those big games, all you got to do is whatever Stafford did this year in the playoffs. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I think
I'm out. Wait, Ken, I'm gonna fight you on every take that you have. Just this is gonna be our thing, by the way. I can already tell. Your takes are gonna be completely different than mine.
I am so happy that I don't have to fight Connor. That was very it was very laborsome during the year.
You said, who would I not be surprised in the next 3 years to win an MVP? Right? That's about where Dak's kind of line is. Who is 2 below Dakota Prescott, Mac Jones, and you don't have Trevor Lawrence on there? Would you?
Froze, man.
Real bad time for Connor to freeze. I'm guessing, would you trade
over Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones?
Yes.
I would pick Dak. The Mac Jones versus Trevor Lawrence, I don't know. I just felt that number 10 spot was blank for me, and I had to pick someone I liked more than Derek Carr. Not a huge fan of Mac Jones per se, but he won in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence hasn't. That was it.
I missed half of that because I got cut off here. Did you get my bet at least?
No, I heard would you rather.
Okay. The point is, would you take the bet right now that Mac Jones will not win an MVP before Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I'm not betting on anybody on the list before Dak. I wouldn't bet on Russ. I wouldn't bet on Mac. I wouldn't bet on Carr. I wouldn't bet on Kyler.
So wait, you'll bet me that Dak Prescott will win an MVP before Trevor Lawrence?
Not one I really like, but sure. Yeah.
Deal. I don't know what we're betting, but I want that bet.
No, my point was you said, okay, the way I looked at this was who's gonna win an MVP first in this area. So Mac Jones was kind of in that area, which would
Mac
mean
Jones, Carr, and Kyler were at the 0% mark, man. Right there with Trevor Lawrence. They're all tied.
okay. All right, fine. Clarified. Thank you.
It's just to win it now, and the Jags look so bad. I could just see. I know Urban Meyer's not there anymore, but I could see them ruining Trevor Lawrence's career before he turns into what we all hope he does.
All right.
True.
Not a wild take.
I think we're good on this. Can't wait to argue about this more in the future, just as these games come up, as these quarterbacks face each other, and as we get to watch Mac Jones just suck more and more and more. It's going to be great. But I think we are good. I will post like a screenshot of our quarterback rankings on Twitter and on Facebook for anyone that follows us. So you can take a look at those. Does anyone either of you have?
We're friends now,
Huh?
because I didn't feel like we were friends during this podcast, but I know we're friends because we're friends on Facebook. Thank you.
I honestly think you're like, all right, this show's got to be entertaining, even though it's the off season. So you're just over here trying to get me and Connor to punch you in the face.
I didn't want all of our lists to look exactly the same.
So here we are. All right.
So just like the last 2 weeks, you decided to go against us, and while Connor and I are right, or more right, you get to be wrong again.
Well, you can't bet on the Bengals to win and Cooper Kupp to win MVP.
Yes, you could bet on the Bengals to cover and Cooper Kupp to win MVP because it happened.
I'm going to take my Cooper Kupp W, and I'll buy that stupid microphone with part of it.
Yes, Ken just alluded to it. Big tech overhaul and production overhaul is coming for us maybe one day eventually. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Again, like, subscribe, comments are always appreciated. As you heard at the beginning, we are winners. Some way, somehow, we all ended up profitable for the year. So, listen to us. Tell all your friends if they want to make money to subscribe and follow. Adios.
Take it easy.